Okay, so question 44. They want me to write 4 root 2 in the form 2 to the power of n, where n is an element of q. If you don't remember q is your rational numbers, it's fractions. Okay, they're called rational numbers. So again, basically all they're saying is they do not want square root signs, they want powers. So it's 4 multiplied. Now, what's 2? The 2 is, square root of 2 is 2 to the power of a half. Ooh, that's a difficult one to do. Now, we have to be careful with how we're going to do this. I can't just multiply these and add powers because these are not the same base number. But if we're very clever about it, I could express 4 as 2. How could I do that? Well, I could say 4, well, that's just 2 to the power of 2. And I'm multiplying it by 2 to the power of a half. Now, my base numbers are the same. So what do I do to my powers when I'm multiplying? I add my powers. So it's 2 to the power of 2 plus a half. And 2 plus a half is just going to be 5 over 2. Okay, and there my n is a fraction. Moving on to question 45. So I've done the same thing again. 27 to the power of root 3 over 3 to the power of minus 2. And I have to get it in the form as 3 to the power of a number. And the number up there needs to be a fraction again. So have a go at that, guys. Get rid of your square root sign, turn everything to powers, then try turn all the base numbers to the same. These are quite complex ones. They're quite leaving cert questions. So first of all, I'm going to get rid of my square root sign. So that is 3 to the power of a half over 3 to the power of minus 2. Now I can't do anything with these because my base numbers are not the same. But I could express 27 as 3 cubed. So I've got 3 cubed by 3 to the power of a half over 3 to the power of minus 2. Now my base numbers are the same, so when I'm multiplying, I add my powers. So it's 3 to the power of 3 plus a half over 3 to the power of minus 2. 3 plus a half is 3 and a half, or we could express 3 and a half as 7 over 2. 3 to the power of minus 2. Now my base numbers are the same, and I'm dividing, so I take away my powers. So it's 3 to the power of 7 over 2 minus minus 2. Minus minus is a plus, so it's 3 to the power of 7 over 2 plus 2. And getting your fractions the same, so remember this is over 1. So if I want everything a common denominator, I put it over 2, and that'll just be 7. And 2 times 2 is 4. So I'm just going to get 3 to the power of 11 over 2. So in that case, n is our fraction again. And the last one in that group, page 46, exact same thing again. So we've got a root 5 here, we got a 25 to the power of a half here, 125 to the power of 2/3 here. So let's get everything in terms of indices. So it's 125 to the power of 2/3, that's good. Multiplied by, instead of root 5, I'm going to write it as 5 to the power of a half over 25 to the power of a half. Okay, now I want to get them all in terms of the same base number, so I can multiply them and divide them. 125, well, I know that's 5 to the power of 3, and that's all to the power of 2/3. Multiplied by 5 to the power of a half. I know 25 is 5 squared to the power of a half. Now, multiplying in, 2/3 multiplied by 3 over 2, that's 5 to the power of 6 over 3. Multiplied by 5 to the power of a half. Half multiplied by 2 is 1, or 2 over 2 is 1. Now, 6 over 3 is just 2. So that's 5 to the power of 2 multiplied by 5 to the power of a half over 5 to the power of 1. All my base numbers are the same. So I'm multiplying so I can add them. So 5 to the power of 2 plus a half over 5 to the power of 1. That is 5 to the power of 2 2s is 4, 1 is 5, 5 over 2 over 5 over 1. Now I'm dividing so I can subtract my indices. So that's 5 to the power of 5 over 2 minus 1. And that's going to be 2 1 is 2, 5 to the power of 3 over 2. Excellent. Those last couple of questions in this video were quite difficult. So look, if you struggled with those, they're quite leaving cert in nature. But it's the questions really up until kind of question 35 are the super important ones here.